Welcome to the Crypto Risk Coffee Spotlight, a series of interviews to investigate what's going on into the crypto space, especially from a risk management point of view. This series will put under magnifying glass hot topics, companies, stories relevant for the Crypto Risk Coffee community, starting from our contributors and editors. Today, I'm looking forward to getting to know more about Omer Suleman, co-founder and chief product officer of Haruko.io, company which offers CFI and DeFi portfolio management solutions. So let me introduce him. Hi, Homer. How are you?
Hi, Alicia. Very well. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, thank you for coming and connecting and talk to us today. Where are you calling from? Where are you connected from?
So I'm in London. We're based in the city in London.
Ah, okay, that's lovely. I love London. How's the weather? I see
I
quite
mean,
cold.
anyone's guess. Yeah, exactly. No, haven't seen sun for a few days, so you can imagine.
Oh no. Well, I wish I could share some sunshine from Dubai. We're having like
Uh,
lovely time here, but you know the heat is gonna come soon, so that I'm not looking forward to. But at the moment, it's just nice.
we're jealous.
Yeah. Will you be visiting Dubai any soon?
Yeah, I think we're intending to be next month even maybe. So yeah, I hear there's because the crypto ecosystem is very active out there. So I think we
Yeah.
will be visiting in the next few months, a couple of times.
Well, that's great. Let me know when you come here. We can always grab a drink or something.
Absolutely,
Great.
absolutely.
Well, let's go straight into it. So today's interview, as we said, is like to introduce our editor, our contributors. First of all, thank you for joining the team. Let me start asking you if you can give us a background on yourself and your career. So, what's your story?
Sure. So I'm one of the three founders of Haruko, which is a firm we founded about 2 years ago. Prior to that, I founded and ran a hedge fund in the crypto space for about 3 years, and before that, over a decade, trading foreign exchange derivatives at Lehman Brothers, Citibank, and Goldman Sachs. Yeah, and before that, I was at Oxford studying applied maths and then a PhD in complex system physics.
Wow, well done. Very interesting. Thanks for sharing. And what pushed you to become an entrepreneur in digital assets and enter the crypto space?
Sure. Initially, I would say, I normally think three kinds of people enter this space, and there is people who are more driven by the economics of it, the monetary policy angle of it. Then there are the technologists, and then there are sort of traders. So I personally come from that trading route, which is, when I entered crypto, it wasn't much understanding around digital assets or decentralization or any of those things, and it was mainly about a market which was very volatile and you could trade it systematically across instruments. That was my background in
Yeah.
foreign exchange for over a decade. So that was my entry. But then since then, over the years, I have developed a lot more of the ideas around the decentralization and also a lot of love for the technology. I mean, which has eventually led to the formation of Haruko.
Yeah. So yeah, tell us more about Haruko. I'm really interested, and I'm sure also who's watching us at the moment. What kind of product are you offering?
Yeah, so Haruko came about as a spin out from our time initially trading proprietary and then trading a hedge fund for LP Capital in the crypto space. And over the 3 years that we did that as a team, we figured that there wasn't much out there in terms of institutional grade technology that investment managers could use, whether it was to view your risk, to aggregate it, to connect to all the CFI venues, deal with OTC derivatives. And then in particular, when it came to DeFi, there's literally nothing out there. So
Yeah.
we built a lot of the technology in-house in those 3 years. And then 2 years ago, we decided that we'd spin that tech out, and we saw the opportunity because we felt like the landscape was pretty empty. So Haruko built out an infrastructure across CFI, DeFi, OTC, and is building various verticals on top, which are products. And the first of those, which is very much in action for the last 2 years, is a portfolio and risk management solution, which is a SaaS
Yeah,
product. It's a platform which connects basically all of your deployments or an asset manager's deployments across CFI, DeFi, and OTC,
yeah,
brings together the risk.
yeah. Yeah, this leads a little bit to my next question that can be a bit given for granted, given like what you guys do. But let me ask you anyway, because I'm curious to know. Looking at 2022 and at the major crashing of the industry leaders, what's the lesson learned and the top takeaway?
Sure. I think the most important thing across 2022 was how I think it's not what happened, uh, but kind of, or what was perceived to happen at the end, but actually how it happened. So, in the sense, there were a number of crashes all the way from the 3AC to, to FTX to Alameda and Genesis and
Yeah,
whatnot. But if you look through, or Celsius and Voyager and all those borrowing lending platforms, and looking at all of those, simply, you come to very simple conclusions, and a lot of people have written about this and talked about this in the industry. So it's not a unique insight. It's simply the fact that just being in crypto doesn't make things decentralized by default. So
yeah,
most of everything that happened, or the kind of risks that were eventually it came to fore, were traditional finance risks. So someone not managing their assets and liabilities, they mismatch across time, or not matching them for the asset to asset, or simply just not managing your credit risk across counterparties, or finally, I mean, plain outright, just some bad actors taking away people's money. So I think the main takeaway from what happened was that you first of all need to bring all what we all know, or significant players know, in traditional finance: what kind of regulation needs to be there, what kind of checks need to be there, simply how corporates need to be run. If you make crypto into this pariah asset class, you end up with people repeating mistakes, or having or making mistakes which were well taken care of in the traditional finance space. So I think a lot of 2022 was just about that. The only thing that stands out was the Terra Luna case, which was a crypto-specific DeFi risk issue. And so I think the point is that that we have a long way to go, but 2022 was probably, in a very, very bad way, the medicine that we needed, because it points out that all the risk management lessons that we have from traditional finance first
yeah,
need to be applied to make sure that the CFI side of the business is taken care of. And then we come to what is a new world, which is DeFi, where risks are different, and we can talk at length about them. But the only one that materialized in a proper way in that sense was the Terra Luna debacle.
yeah. Well, we couldn't agree more, of course. This is also why we are here at the moment. So, and my next question is indeed, why did you decide to become a contributor for the Crypto Risk Office community? And what do you expect from this experience?
Sure. That's yeah. So I think from my perspective, why I decided to join you guys in the crypto risk office is to I think bring to because I feel like and I'm sure there are people like myself and better qualified even, but there are a number of different things that you need to have to contribute to the efforts of creating risk frameworks. And a lot of them are obviously starting from quantitative ideas and skill set, and all the way to sort of creating restructures and operations and so on. But I think one of the most important piece is having dealt with risk. So
Yeah,
having been a having run large size derivative portfolios at Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, I kind of know how the very front of this piece looks like, and what are the decision making processes when you're actually putting on risk as a participant in the financial markets, whether you're a portfolio manager or a market maker, or the whatever your specific role is in that space. So I think that's my why I feel like I could contribute to this space. And in terms of why I would join, I think it's great to be able to you can never kind of learn enough. So everyone brings a great perspective and a different perspective to this place, and ideas will come from technology, from trading, from financial markets, from specific DeFi folks, and it's always good to be in a community where people are contributing and you can learn and increase the breadth of your knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, that's really nice. Well, my next question, of course, like apart from 2022, that I get, it was a good lesson for everyone. But which is the most meaningful experience you had in your working life that let you understand that risk have to be taken seriously?
Sure. I mean, it will sound a bit cliched, but I was at Lehman Brothers in 2008, and one of the folks that you
Yeah,
probably I don't know, you might have some pictures in memory of people carrying their boxes out. So I was one of those guys. So
okay.
I think to me personally, that was the biggest learning point of risk, because a lot of people, because I think the way financial systems are built, and actually the way every single human development or invention works, is initially people understand it deeply. So when internal combustion engine was first born, the people who were close to it probably understood exactly how the engineering works. And today you press a button and your car starts and you have no idea what is going under the hood. And that's how it should be, obviously. So similarly, in financial markets, what happens is that first initial people understand. So you set up shop as a trading business 50 years ago. What every single bit of your risk, how margins are posted, how counterparties collaterals are managed, every single thing. And then they become more and more systematized and organized and institutionalized, and at some point the new people that you add have no idea. So I would say in early 2000s, I started trading at Lehman Brothers, and not that I was any worse than anyone else, but the way the crisis unfolded is a lot of people would not know deep down what is it that you're dealing with. So I have a little war story from that time. On the Sunday right before the Monday when Lehman Brothers declared bankruptcy,
Yeah.
so the Friday before that, actually markets rallied, as they do when so there was some good news and there was expectation that Lehman would not default. So markets started rallying, and we had some trades on, and it seemed kind of strange because the mood was fairly somber, but the market was broad indices, was S&P was rallying and whatnot. So Sunday night I came into the office along with a number of other foreign exchange traders, because markets open in Wellington. I'm based in London, so by 8 9 p.m. London, the market's active. So around that time, I needed to trade some Euro Swiss spot, I still remember, and I asked the spot desk. So I was on the derivatives desk. I shouted out saying, place my bid for some Euro Swiss spot, I don't know, 100 million. And he said, okay, yeah, I placed the bid. And the spot is tanking, so I can see on my screen the price is actually below where I left the bid out. So I said, why am I not filled? I mean, are you trying to make some money off me? I thought the guy was actually ripping me off by, just taking some, filling me later. He turns around and says, no one is taking Lehman's name in the market. So, I never thought before that, I kind of never really worked out that, when you trade foreign exchange spot, someone has to actually take your credit risk. Someone has to agree that they're willing to take your credit, and then the trade gets done. So on the Reuters screen, Lehman Brothers was bid for, 100 million euro Swiss, and no one was hitting it. So we kind of, that was the point when we actually internally realized that today was the last day. So next morning, lo and behold, the announcement was made. But that was my kind of introduction really to credit risk, and that moment stays in my head when I first got properly introduced to how credit works between large institutions.
Well, I bet. You learned it the hard way, I guess.
Absolutely, but it's you live and learn. So
Of
it is now almost 20 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. Well, hopefully this will never happen ever again. But of course, to make sure that things are going to go the right way, risk and risk function have to be implemented within companies. And what do you think? Like, where do you see the crypto world going under this point of view? Are they taking it more seriously? Are they on top of risk management more, or it does still feel like a light version of what it's supposed to be?
Sure. No, I think so. To answer your question in short, yes, I think it is definitely moving in the right direction. I think it's being taken a lot more seriously. You can see it in a number of different ways, but one of the ways that I look at it is the tech landscape, which is reflective of where the market is going. So when you think about crypto, the first, obviously crypto or Bitcoin, there was the entire technology piece, and people were building that out and so on and so forth. And then, there were some people who thought, oh, okay, Bitcoin is the new money. So those guys entered the space. But both of these guys, so the technologists and call it sort of, the liberals, if you may, who, monetary liberals who entered this kind of space were both not really financial experts. So there was no risk management.
Yeah,
And then one would expect that actually, as the real sort of traders and investment folk came, people like ourselves, when they joined the industry, you would expect risk management to take a centerpiece. But funnily enough, I think driven by incentives, what happened was that, and when you look at the tech landscape, two kinds of companies were created. There were the exchanges, there were sort of the execution providers, there was those kind of people who were literally trading the thing. So there was very much just a way to trade it and
yeah,
then or buy it. And then there was the other side, which was also gradually taken care of, the custody bit. So, you had the MPC technology developing, the HSMs and cold storage technologies, and so on and so forth. But in the middle, where there is risk management, that was completely empty from a tech stack perspective. And it
yeah,
kind of remained empty. So, which is where Haruko really came in and we sat, is because even till 2 years ago, there wasn't a high quality firm focused on the risk management piece. So people were focused on the actual trading, execution, exchanges, venue, even to the extent of prime brokers, that kind of piece. So credit provision. And the other
yeah,
side was custody. But the piece where you actually make sure that your portfolio is healthy, looking at it, was always kind of neglected, because the truth is that you can kind of, for most part of your life, you can live without it. It's one of those things, when you need it, you really need it. And other points you may not, you might think you don't need it. So I think that's changing, and a lot more people are now taking care of this centerpiece, and people are interested. We can from Haruko's perspective, it's part of our growth story, but I think it makes sense as a growth story of the industry.
yeah. Well, it's really, really nice to have your feedback, because I think you can, with the product you offer, you can really touch it with your hands and see where is it going, and how companies are evolving and implementing more and more risk strategies. Well, Omer, thank you so much for like this interview was very insightful. Before I let you go, I like to play a little game with you. So we are building with Brashna, which is a company that helps offer solution for combined gaming and education. I like to play with you a little games. It's called Risk On, Risk Off. And funnily enough, before you mentioned credit risk with your experience at Lehman Brothers. So now we are gonna focus this little game on credit risk, and we'll test you on credit risk and also on your gaming skills. You have to, well, you show us, but you'll have to catch the good credit and dodge the bad credit. So
I
I'll pop it in.
I wish
Okay.
I had my 9-year-old with me now and cheat at this, but I'm gonna try.
Let's see. Now is you're gonna play it for us. Let's say medium level
All
is
right.
like
Okay.
is
Thanks.
like a good level. So yeah, this is the instruction.
Okay.
Okay, okay. So I see Alameda. Yes. Collectible. Great. Ethereum. Yes.
Whoa.
Ooh. The bomb. The bomb. Oh. Okay. Polkadot. We like it. Void.
Voyager.
Yeah. Avalanche.
Uh, oh,
Okay.
okay, no,
We like Bitcoin.
I don't know what coin flex.
Okay. And there are lots of good credit around. Well, we're happy to see.
Whoa.
Ooh. You're doing great.
Yeah,
Look at you. Great gaming skills.
that's
Uh, so you already reached the maximum point of 80.
brilliant.
Yeah, well done you. Yeah, it's will bring you to the next level that we're not gonna play together. Oh, be careful there. Again, run away. And almost there. Wow, 105. Amazing. Out of 80. So, yeah, you're doing really, really good. Really well. Almost done. Almost the end of it. And then we're going to answer to the question, how do you avoid credit risk? Let's see. Okay. I think you did well. Maybe I'm not sure if you can read it, but it tells you which are the best way to avoid credit risk. Invest in zero credit risk assets, minimize exchange exposure, and segregated custody of your assets. Okay. Well, thank you, Omer, for testing your skills.
Thank
You
you,
were
Alicia.
brilliant. Well done. Not even a single mistake. Great. Your
Perfect.
9-year-old can be proud of you.
I'm going to take a screenshot of that result.
Great. Well, these will be available soon to everyone for everyone to play. So we'll encourage everyone to have a go. And for today, I think it's all. Thank you very much again for this session. And I'll see you
Thank you.
soon on the Crypto Risk Office channels.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.